the three most important points that you need to consider is, firstly, what is your horizon after retirement? For how long after retirement do you need to make provision? And then secondly, what are your views on and your assumptions around inflation and what you can get as investment yield on your capital when you do retire? And as we said in the panel, since the change in South Africa from defined benefit pension funds or retirement funds to defined contribution funds, where we've seen that there's a lot of angst around do I have enough, because now with defined contribution you have to manage your own capital in some way. So those are the three important things, because they are crucial to understanding whether you are going to manage your capital well into retirement, or whether at some stage you're going to be in dire need of financial alchemy. And then we know what happens in South Africa. People start looking for extraordinary returns and they end up in pyramid schemes and things like that. So I would say those three things are crucially important, and then to determine, okay, so how much capital do I actually need to be able to produce for that investment horizon after retirement, or for that investment period after retirement, produce the income that I'm going to need after retirement. If you start early enough, yes. I think the biggest problem is that people do not think about retirement early enough in their lives. The numbers are frightening. If you start at age 25 and you have a 40-year investment term until retirement, let's say at 65, then your investment necessary to produce an income of, let's say, 2/3 or 3/4 of your final salary after retirement and lasting for your expected life expectancy after retirement is manageable. But if you delay that just by 10 years and you only start saving at the age of 35, then it becomes a totally different calculation. And the required investment goes up exponentially. I think it's a combination of lack of financial literacy. I know that in the school curriculum these days they try to address that, but we all know our education system is not that effective in South Africa. So it's that, a lack of financial literacy in young people, and people start realizing what's going to happen once the regular income dries up after retirement. It's that, as well as other pressures, and then, quite frankly, people just living beyond their means and not understanding that you have to put something aside and you have to save for retirement. There are very few people who are lucky enough that they gather enough wealth without thinking about it, that they don't have to plan for that eventuality. So I think it's a combination of those three issues. I think there are certainly very high quality financial planners out there who act ethically and who have the knowledge, the competence. I mean, those two things are crucial. Integrity and diligence, the honesty and the competence. And there are very good planners out there. Unfortunately, there are those that are not so good because they simply don't have the competence. And we don't want to talk about those who don't have the integrity. But the other problem that you have in South Africa with the current financial advice scenario is the reluctance from consumers to actually pay for advice, because for years they got it for free, or so they thought. And that reluctance to buy good advice also plays a role.